So I'm just stitching on some of the last few pieces of Olive's Bear, and I thought I would just turn on the camera while I'm doing this, and we can have a little catch up of what I've been doing with this and maybe what you've been doing with your bears. I hope you're doing fine on your stitching of your slow stitch bear if you're making one. Yeah, I've thought I would have this done quite a while ago, but I've been out working in the garden almost daily when I can because I'm so far behind on work out there, and we're getting down to days left now that we can actually do things. We are supposed to have our first frost tonight, actually, and where I live, we don't know how long our fall is going to be. Sometimes we have a long fall, and sometimes we have snow in October. So I'm trying to get caught up. I lost my thread and my needle. Trying to get caught up on things that I haven't been able to do since I broke my shoulder. There's a lot of plants that need to be moved. I have taken down one whole flower bed, and we're actually going to grass some of it up. So yeah, there's been a lot of work going on outside. I just haven't had much time to be indoors doing much of anything. Yesterday I did was that yesterday? No, not yesterday. The day before yesterday, I actually cleaned through my house, gave it a really good clean, and it had been a while since I'd done a real serious clean of things like washing floors and that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's lots to do, and I'm feeling a little under the weather. I don't know what I'm coming down with, but I have an earache, sort of running a slight little fever, off and on sore throat, a little bit of a cough. So something's brewing. Yeah, so I haven't done much finishing on this bear, and I really want to get it done and get it off my list of things to do because it's just been hanging on too long. And I am quite close to finishing it, really. So so I just finished this afternoon because it's been a rainy day. I did this side of one of the feet. And this bird, you might recognize this from some of my other projects, but this was done by my mom. There were several birds of different sizes, bluebirds like this, on a piece of linen. I don't know if it was a table runner or dresser scarf or whatever it was, but I dyed the linen and I cut the birds out, and this is one of them. So on Olive's Bear, she's going to have a piece of her great-great-grandmother's stitching on there, which I think is kind of neat. So this one I just there's running stitches, and then I did the bear, and then I did all these French knots here. So it has a texture to it. You can run your finger and it feels bumpy. And like I've said before, this is for a child, and so I want different textures. I added this little piece of eyelash yarn. It's soft and fuzzy, and she can play with it. I just couched it on the top, and I'm just going to leave it hang down the foot. And now I'm just stitching on another side of the other foot. I just did running stitch around this, and I did some blanket stitching, and I don't know what I'm going to do up here. I'll figure it out, I guess. And I'm just using yarn out of my big tangle of yarn here. I'm just using scraps. It's a good way of using up your scraps, and I've quite enjoyed going through this, pulling out different pieces and working with what I found. I don't know what color I want to use up here. I think I might go for this soft blue. Do I have, oh, I've got quite a bit of it, I think. Or do I have? Because there's blue there. Yeah, I think I might have enough to do something. Maybe not all of it. This is 2 strands here, so let's start with that. Yeah, so it's kind of nice just to be sitting and stitching. I really haven't done any stitching, slow stitching like this for quite a while. I've been doing a bit of knitting. I've made, I finished 1 pair of socks, and I'm almost finished the 2nd pair, and I've halfway through the 3rd pair. So I've been moving forward with socks for Christmas gifts. And I did send the 1 pair of socks to my friend who lost her daughter, and she was so happy with them. She was just delighted. She couldn't tell me enough how wonderful they were. So I'm so happy. I wasn't able to go and give her a hug and, you know, show her comfort in that way, but I wrote a little note saying that I hoped that she found comfort in wearing the socks, and she said that she was just so happy to have them, and they were so beautiful. And she went on, which, I mean, they were just socks. They weren't exactly beautiful, but she thought they were beautiful, so that's really nice. And it achieved the purpose. It brought her some joy. So that's good. So other than that, it's been just, we've had a lot of rain in the last little while, last few days. We've had a ton of rain, and that's why I'm indoors, because it's very wet out there right now. I can't really do much. Was in for my physio yesterday and sort of got a little bit of bad news. Not bad news, but it'll be 6 months on the 5th of October since I broke my shoulder. And I've been going to physio now for 5 months. And I made my progress quite early on in my physio, and in some things improved quite quickly, and in other things have not improved at all in all that time. And one of the things that has not improved is my ability to reach behind my back with my arm. I can't even get it past my side. And you know, it's frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. So we were discussing that yesterday, and she said that after all these months of working that muscle, she does not think that motion is going to come back for me. So that was a little disappointing. But then she said in the other breath that, you know, maybe one day it just will. Who knows? But she said, really, it's not looking so good for that particular emotion. And my raising my arm up over my head, I can do it, but it's not all the way over my head, and my arm isn't straight. But like, I can wash my hair. You know, I can do things, but I was saying to her, you know, I'm not going to be throwing a shot put. I'm not going to be pitching a baseball game. Certain things that, certain movements of my arm, I'm not going to do anyway. So what I'm more concerned about are the things that I do. Can I have the range of motion to do the tasks that I do, like playing the piano and knitting and stitching and those type of things, the things that I can do. And for those things I do have the range of motion for the things that I love to do. So that's sort of where I'm concentrating my thoughts on, is not to dwell on what I can't do, but just to be thankful what I can do, because, you know, there was no guarantees that I would have much of anything, really. It was all just up to me and fates that be, I guess. So I'm quite happy. I can do my gardening. I cannot lift heavy objects, and that is something that I did a lot of. But again, it's not the end of the world if I shouldn't maybe be lifting some of the heavy stuff that I was anyway. So, like for instance, in the garden, I used to fill 2 big watering cans, one in each arm, and go do my watering. Well, I can't do that now. I fill one and I carry it with 2 hands. So it's not the end of the world. It's just things sometimes are going to have to be a little bit different. I did notice, actually today I noticed that reaching into the oven is very difficult for me. The stretch to get around, you know how the door goes down and you sort of have to stretch over the door to get your arm into the oven to reach something. That's really difficult. I made a oven apple pancake tonight for supper, and I had difficulty getting it in and out of the oven. I had to get Gary to help me. So little things like that are a bit of a struggle, but you know, I can deal with it. So I wasn't too upset with her news, and I will be continuing. She's not letting me go yet. I haven't graduated out of physio yet. There's still some work to be done with strengthening my arms, but one arm. But, you know, that arm has been compromised now for 19 years because it's the same side that I had my mastectomy on. And I've had lymphedema in that arm for 19 years. And that arm hasn't been what it was before for quite some time. So this was just another whammy to the same arm. Anyway, it's all good. So I'm getting close to putting this bear together, and I have actually done some of that, and I have recorded it already, but I'm going to save that for one video of its own, the construction and putting together of the bear. It's not difficult, but I just thought, you know, for some of you who perhaps have not made anything like this before, you might want to see how I do it. So I have recorded some parts of that already. Obviously not the feet because I didn't have them stitched, but I'm getting there. Maybe if we have a couple more rainy days, I'll actually get this bear done. So I hope everybody's enjoying putting your own personal touches on this little project. And that's the nice thing about this. I mean, you can be inspired by me, but you can do whatever you want with your bear. Make it your own. And while I'm on that subject, I have something to say to you. Not to you, but I have something to tell you. And it's about inspiration. And and how we treat inspiration. I'm inspired by a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who I think are the most clever artists and crafters and artisans, much more than me. And I am often inspired to try something that I haven't tried before. Probably just like you are with this bear. And most of the time, well, I could pretty much say all the time, because I'm the kind of person that I'll watch somebody do something, and I'll like what they do, and I'll maybe want to do something similar, but I very seldom, if ever, will repeat somebody else's work. I would prefer to take that idea, change it, and make it something completely different or vastly different than what I've seen. And that's how I use my inspirations. I take, like for instance, this bear, okay? I wasn't really that aware of slow stitching. Well, I was and I wasn't. I never really followed it all that closely. But then I started watching a few people on YouTube who are fantastic slow stitchers, and I watched them create things using their techniques. And quilts. They were doing quilts and books and journals and pin cushions and things like that. And so I made some bookmarks doing that, doing this kind of thing. And then I thought of this bear, and so I've done the bear. Now, to my knowledge, I have not seen anybody else do this. But this is what I'm saying. I watch somebody do something, but I do something different with it. I might do the same stitches, but I do a different type of project. And so you can imagine my horror when I found somebody actually ripping my project off of computer and making a pattern and sharing that pattern online. This happened on Sunday. I was on the internet, and I got a notification that, well, I can't even remember how I found this, but you know my horse Levi. Well, I'm just going to backstep a bit with this story. For those of you who are new, I did collage piece. It's my profile picture on Erndales. It's my profile picture on Facebook. It's my profile picture on Instagram. And I made this. It's actually an art piece done with 100% recycled blue jean material from various types of blue jeans. I created it, I crafted it, and I didn't copy anybody's pattern. It was my own doing. And I made Levi. Actually, Levi wasn't the first one I made. It was the first blue jean one, but I did some using different fabrics first of all. And then I did Levi with the pattern that I had created myself. A drawing, I did a drawing of a horse. I made all the different pieces. I cut it up and made pattern pieces from the horse. And then I made the horse in fabric, in collage. Levi was done in blue jeans. So the very first time that Levi appeared on social media was on my blog, Erndales and More. And my blog is still up there. I haven't actually written on it for a long, long time. But Levi appeared on there several years ago. I would say now maybe about 5 years ago. I had shared it on my blog. And the picture, that was the first place the picture showed up. And about a year later, I found it on Pinterest. This isn't the right kind of, that's not right. It appeared to me on Pinterest. I was on Pinterest and up popped Levi. But it was a link. Somebody had copied a link to my blog. So that wasn't very alarming, really. I mean, anybody can go on my blog. It's open to the public. And you can copy a link to my blog where, of course, Levi will show up. But also on my blog, I have a copyright statement on there that says that you can link people to my blog, but you cannot use any of my content, either my words or my photographs or my work, without my permission. And so when Levi appeared on Pinterest as a link to my I'm getting distracted here because I can't find the right color, so I'll have to change it. When it appeared as a link to my blog, it was fine because it was taking people to my blog where my content was. This, what I found on Sunday, was somebody had, well, I looked back on it was a Facebook site. And this person had been, obviously saw Levi on Pinterest, that same one that was on there for a few years, not by me, but by the link that somebody had shared. And she had gone looking for the pattern and couldn't find it. And she was making comments. She had posted my picture without my permission on this Facebook group, asking everybody if they knew where the pattern came from. And she didn't get any response because, of course, there is no pattern. I didn't make a pattern. I did make a pattern, but I'm the only one that has it. So she went and downloaded or ripped the picture of Levi onto her computer, and then she took paper and pencil and re-imaged it on paper by tracing over top of it. And then if you look at the Levi, you can see where the pieces are, because I've used different colors of jeans to augment the different parts of the horse's face. So she copied all that out, and then she basically had a pattern. And then she shared it 287 times on Facebook. And I honestly could not believe that somebody would do something like this. And I couldn't believe that a crafter, another maker, would do this to somebody else's work. I was incensed, really. So I went after her. I went after Facebook. I went after the site. I demanded that it get taken down, and it did. And then I had a long conversation with the moderator of the site. It wasn't her fault. She didn't really know. But I made her very aware of how easily this thing could be done like this, and perhaps she should put a statement on the site to people to not do this sort of thing. And she was very, very good, very understanding. And I made Facebook aware, and I think actually Facebook was going to take her off of Facebook. I don't know if they did or not. But it was very unsettling, and it took me a whole day to get this straightened out. But in the meantime, 287 people have her copy of my pattern, basically. And I can't do anything about that because I don't know who they are. So this is what I'm saying about inspiration. It's great to be inspired by people, but some people take it to a total different level. And that's not right. It really is not right. It took me months to do that horse. It took me weeks to get the pattern drawn out properly because I'm not an artist by any means. And I had a photograph of a friend's horse. That's how I did it. I had taken some pictures of some horses. This was years ago in one of our parades, and I had cropped the pictures of the horses until all I had was the chest and the head. And from that, I made my pattern of Levi. And then it took me months of cutting fabric and changing my mind. And it was a long process to get the horse that I got. To the point even where, if you look at Levi, there's aspects of that horse that people don't even realize what it is. For instance, Levi's mane. If you look at it, it's blue thread, but it's not blue. Well, it is blue thread, but it's not any kind of thread that you're going to buy anywhere. Because what I did was I unpicked blue jeans, and that is the actual thread that keeps the blue jean fabric together. I don't know if it's the weft or I don't know which one it was. I'm not a weaver, so I can't tell you. But it was this kind of thing is what I did to get those blue pieces. So Levi is 100% blue jeans. There's nothing on that horse except for the black fabric that I used to make the eye out of. That's the only thing that is not made up from blue jeans. So, I'm not accusing, I'm just telling you what went on, and it's such a sad thing. It's a sad thing for makers to hear about other makers doing such a thing. The thing is, if that person had gone on my blog, on there is, there was a big write-up about Levi on my blog. I just didn't have a picture up there. I was talking about it. But there's ways to contact me on that blog. But the person didn't even bother doing that. She just went straight for my picture, copied it, made her own pattern from my work, and shared it. And I think that's really disgusting. Anyway, it really soured me. It soured me so much that on Sunday, I was quitting YouTube. I was actually going to go off YouTube, off Facebook, off Instagram, off everything. It just brought me down to a really bad place. And I didn't do it right away. I was going to just cancel everything off. But I gave myself a couple of days to calm down. And I realized that, I'm not a big channel. I know that there aren't millions of people watching me. There isn't even thousands of people watching me. It's more like hundreds, if it's that. But I know that there are a few of you who really do appreciate my work. You contact me, you talk to me, and so I changed my mind, and I will continue. But I think if something like this were ever to happen to me again, I would just stop, because I don't need to do this. I like to do this. I want to do this. I'm enjoying sharing my work. And I'm not the kind of person who's selfish about my work. If you want to know something about what I'm doing or ask me questions, I will answer your questions. You know, if you have a question and I have the answer, I'm very willing to give you the answer. So anyway, there's my story. And I hope that never happens again, because it wasn't a very nice day at all. And with that, oh no, I still have this to do. I thought I was finished. I'm not going to do here because the seam is going to come here, so I'm just going to leave this like this. I do have this part to do though. But first I'm going to have a sip of my tea. I've got some really hot tea. And I put a little bit of brandy in it because my throat is sore. A hot toddy. I've actually had a little bit of chills too, and it's not cold. So what to do with this now? Let's see what colors we have. Maybe gray. I'm sort of running out of some of the colors in here. I only have 2 blues. Don't have very much red, but I don't want red. I could do green. I don't have much green in here either. Some of this is so small I couldn't actually do anything with it anyway. Oh, what can I use? Well, it's dark green. I could start with that, I guess. And it's already 2 strands, so that's good. Most of the stitching that I have been doing, I've used 2 strands of floss. I just like that to work with the best. Once in a while I use 1, but mostly 2. Never more than that, really. So this is already striped going in this direction, so I guess I'll just go with that. So I have done no stitching on my other bear. I just haven't had time, and I don't think I'm gonna have time right now. I think I've sort of just shelved that project until Christmas makes are over, because I've got a lot of things that I want to make for gifts. And you know, we're getting into October already, and I think I just need to focus on getting those kind of things done first. So I think my other bear will be on hold till maybe after Christmas. But I have done a little bit of stitching on my Santa. I don't think I'm not going to get him done before Christmas either. I doubt it very much. But I am enjoying it. a lot. It's going to be very pretty and elegant. Okay, I'm going to do some French knots in here, and you're going to have a fit on how I do French knots. I do not do French knots like anybody at all. So when I learned to embroider, my mom taught me to embroider when I was, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, something like that. And I did a lot of embroidery. I really enjoyed it. As a child, I had my own thread. I had my own little sewing box, and she would iron, you know, those stamps that used to buy patterns, and you could iron on the image, and then you could embroider them. Well, I did a lot of those. Oops, I forgot to do it again. I did a lot of those, pillowcases and all kinds of things. I really did enjoy that. And what we were doing, I would do little squares of animals, and then we would put them together for baby quilts and things like that. So I did a lot of embroidery as a child. And then when I was a teenager, in grade 7, was the first time that grade 7, we had home economics for the very first time. And our first project was an apron. And the teacher was teaching everybody how to do embroidery, but I already knew how to do it. So we were supposed to put embroidery, some kind of embroidery, on the pocket. So I went ahead and I did my thing. I think I did a flower or something like that. And the teacher was very impressed with my embroidery knowledge and skill, until she saw me doing a French knot. And she had a fit. She's, who taught you to do that? I said, nobody taught me to do that. She says, well, that's not how you do French knot. I said, I know, but I can't do the other. I tried very hard to do it the other way, and I just couldn't wrap it and keep it on the needle. It was just a big mess. So I devised this method, and I quite like my method. So I don't think you could really call this a French knot, so maybe it's a Canadian knot. Let's put it that way. I don't know. But this is how I do it. This is just a single I'm doing. I can do doubles. But, yeah. This is my method of doing French knots. So I got a B for the apron, and I think I got an F for the embroidery, because the teacher was so upset with me that I had done my French knots in this manner. And it really kind of affected me a lot, because after she did that, I didn't embroider for a long time. She really knocked my confidence. And I thought of that many times over the years when I was trying to teach somebody something, you know, not necessarily embroidery, but other things. And I remembered how I felt when she knocked me so badly for doing something different. And really, in my mind, it doesn't matter how you do your French knot. It's a knot. You know, it's not rocket science. It's a knot. My French knots look like everybody else's French knots. However I do them, I do them. And I think it's wrong to judge people on a technique. If you can't do it a certain way, do it the way you can do. And don't criticize people for doing it differently. Because sometimes when you do something like that, they quit doing it and their joy is gone. So anyway, That's my French knot story. And I know it looks really weird, and I know it's not the right way, but to be honest with you, I don't care. It's how I do it. And that's how I'm always going to do it. I'm not going to change now. Not after this many years. So, after I get this piece done, I only have one more leg to do and one more bottom of the foot to do and one more ear. And then I'm almost ready to finish this bear. I can't wait to get it completely done. And can't wait to get it to Olive, because I know she's gonna love it. She's a very bright little one. And I think I put enough interest on here to keep a bright little one occupied. I have to trim that. I was thinking I should maybe crochet a blanket to go with the bear. I don't know. What do you think? Or is that just like overkill? I think the bear could have a little... I've got a lot of baby yarn. I could crochet the bear a little blanket. I think I might do that. I mean, this could go on and on and on. Me being the kind of person I am. Ooh, that brandy made me a little on the warm side. I don't feel the chill now. Anyway, I am going to finish this, and I'm going to see if I can get another piece done before I go to bed tonight. And then I don't have that much to go. And we will be putting our bears together. I hope you're at this point where you're almost ready to put your bear together too. We can do that in the next video, the next bear video, that is. I'm aware there's other videos. So I think that I will just end this now. I hope I've been in shot. I have forgot to look. And that's another piece done. Lots of little ends on this. It's fraying quite a bit. There we go. Another one done. I'm not going to do anything here because I'm going to be stitching right over that. So there. Okay, well, thank you for spending a little while with me. And I'll see you pretty quickly now with the next video where we're going to put Olive's bear all together. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourself. And I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.